Hello everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is what I've been making today. It is an absolutely monster box, but it needs to be this size because I made it to hold the ornament that I made a few projects ago. Now, in terms of supplies, I will warn you, it does get through quite a few sheets of card. I think I used 3 A4 sheets of card to make this project. But I wanted something special to hold that special ornament that I'd made. So if you stay with me, I will show you how I made it. To make my box, I have 2 pieces of soft sky card, which are 7 inches by 11. And I have 2 pieces of the soft sky, which are 5 inches square. I have DSP, and this is from the fruit stand set, and I've cut 1 piece which is 4 3/4 of an inch square, and I have 4 pieces which are, let me just check, 5 3/4 by 4 3/4. So they're going to be the panels around the front of the box. For the stand that the globe is going to sit on, I've got 1 piece of soft sky, which is 10.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Also for the stand for the globe, I have 8 pieces of the fruit stand DSP, which are 1 inch square, and I've got 4 small neodymium magnets, and these are very, very strong. So if you're making something like this for a gift for a child, I definitely wouldn't use these. I would use something like sticky dots or Velcro, something like that. So those are the things that you're going to need to make the box and the stand. The finished size of this box is going to be 5 inches by 6 inches, and if you want to know any of the measurements, I will be putting my notes on to my blog, so all you have to do is follow the link below this video. So I'm going to start by scoring one of my large pieces of card at 1/2 inch, and then at 5.5 inches, and then at 10.5 inches. Alright, so that's 1. Now the second piece of card is a little bit different because I'm going to score that at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, then at 6 inches. Now I want to score on the short side at 1/2 inch and at 6.5 inches. And I want to do that on both sides. And while I have the scoreboard in front of me, I have my long skinny piece, which is going to be the base of my box, of my stand I should say, and I'm going to score that at 1 1/4 inches on the short side, and then I am going to score it at 1 1/4 inches, 2.5 inches, 3 3/4 inches, where am I now? 5 inches. Got to look at my notes. 6 1/4 inches, 7.5 inches, 8 3/4 inches, and 10 inches. And believe me, there was a lot of mathematics went into that. My 2 large pieces of, I've burnished the folds on my large pieces of soft sky, and now I'm going to do some trimming. So I'm going to begin by chopping off the corners. So this is the piece where where you've got the 2 creases and folds along the edge there, and this is going to be the bit that the door kind of latches onto. So I'm having a think about what I need and what I don't need. Well, I definitely don't need that piece, and I definitely, just trying to think how it'll go, and I don't want that, and I don't want that. That's it. So do that again. I want to angle that piece there, and then I don't need that bit, and I want to angle that piece there. So I wound up with that shape. It's always easier to embellish a box while it's flat, so I'm going to put the DSP panels onto the box now before I go any further, and I'm going to use Jolly Old Snail to do it. I've started snipping into the piece that's going to be the stand, and all I'm doing is I'm cutting a long skinny triangle out of the folds, just like this, and on the last one. And I've already gone ahead and put some tear and tape onto my end flaps, so that when I can stick it together, that's all done for me. And now I'm just going to put my little 1-inch squares onto the front. There they all are, all done, and I have already put tear and tape onto the back here, just to save myself some time. So I'm going to begin by taking that away and folding these pieces over, just like that. Then we're lining up the edges here. I want it to be a nice square stand, and then I'm just going to fold that over, and there I have a sturdy stand for my globe. Off camera, I've put the tear and tape on all of the top and bottom edges of both of these pieces, and on this piece, which has got the double folded edge, I put the tear and tape on the inside, and on one of the edges here I put the tear and tape on the outside, and on the other one I put the tear and tape on the inside. And I'm going to start by taking the tape off and joining the two pieces together. So now I'm going to have one mega big box, and I think the easiest way to do it is to turn it over and just bring the edges level carefully. And I'm sorry you can't see that terribly well. Is that better? Basically I'm standing it up and I'm bringing that up to it. Okay, so this is going to be the box when it's all in flattened out. Alright, now on the piece where I have the double edge fold, I'm going to put two of the magnets onto the inside, and I'm going to use glue dots to begin with. So I'll find a glue dot, and I'm going to put that onto the magnet, and then I'm going to put the magnet right up against the edge of the seam there. Alright, I'm going to put 2 of them. I'm going to put one at the top, and I've got a glue dot on my finger. Don't want that to happen. And find another glue dot. I'm going to put one on this magnet. Now I'm keeping them in bits of wax paper to stop them clashing together, because if they clash together they may shatter, and then you get bits of very strong magnet all about the place, which is not a good idea. Alright, so now I'm going to fold that over the top, and that has done 2 things, well 3 things really. It's given me a nice folded edge, which always looks very nice and professional. It's strengthened that piece, and it's held my magnets in place. Alright, to place the magnets on the other edge, first of all I'm going to let them find where they want to sit. Now they'll just cling to each other just like that. So I'm going to pop a glue dot on top of each of them. And try not to, do you know what, I've got more glue dots on my fingers than I have on the project. Oh, what am I like? Alright, so now if I bring that over to line up to the closed position, and when I take that away, my magnets have come with me. And now I can just take the tear and tape off. Backing off, and I don't take the tear and tape off, I'll just take the backing off. On this side, and fold this edge over. Right, and now that will close up and stay closed. And that's, actually it's that way around, that is the front door of my box. Let's start bringing this together now. So let's put the top and bottom onto this box. So I just want to make sure that I know that I want it to be this way up, and I think I'm going to start by putting the bottom panel in place. I want to make sure that I don't cover the fold, that I come up to the fold but not quite over it. Alright, so yeah, another fiddly project. See, in my head they start off nice and simple, but they just kind of turn a bit fiddly and complicated halfway through. Alright, so let's put the bottom flap on kind of where I want it, and let's put the top piece on to this side so that we know where we are and we don't kind of get in a muddle. I was just starting to put this together when I discovered that I had done something pretty silly, but fortunately I stopped in time, and with the aid of a bit of lighter fluid I was able to remove the tear and tape from this panel, which is going to be the door, from this side and put it on to this side. And I was halfway through sticking that all together when I realised what I'd done. So don't do what I did the first time, do this, alright? So I'm going to remove the backing from the tear and tape onto this piece. And I'm just going to fold those edges over, because this is going to be my front door. Alright, and I don't need that to stick down because it will be held by the magnets on that corner. Alright. And the other thing I did do was I moved the camera back a bit as well, so that you can see without having your, you know, having a real close-up view of the top of the box, which you don't want. Okay. So you know, the old lighter fluid comes in very handy when you have, you know, moments of inattention in your crafting, like what I do. So now I'm bringing my edges together, and I'm working on the bottom of the box first, because I don't want to be worrying about the top and the bottom at the same time. I just want to concentrate on the one bit. Okay, so that's all folded up nicely. So now I can take the backing of the tearing tape on the top of the box. Come on, off you come. There you go. And there you go. And this, I'm just going to close that up so that it's nice and square there. And just bring my edges in carefully. Carefully. I do not want to spoil this at the very last minute, because this has taken me quite a bit of work. Okay, and there it is. And there is my box, which shuts magnetically. For the rosette on the front of the box, I'm going to be using this stamp from Holly Jolly Layers. And I've got it already mounted up on my clear block. I'm going to use Versamark ink and silver embossing powder. Got my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to rub that over this little scrap of soft sky card, so to make sure I haven't got my mucky fingerprints all over it. And I'm going to ink up my stamp with my Versamark, and I'm just going to pop that down. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't see anything, but that doesn't really worry me because it's Versamark. There's my little spoon. It's in here. I keep my little odds and ends in my little toolbox here. Oh, and in case you're wondering what the cork is for, it's so I don't stab my fingers when I'm piercing, using a paper piercer. Okay. Okay, it's nicely covered, I think. Put the top on that, otherwise there will be a disaster. And let's fire up the old embossing tool and let's heat this up. I've got a 2-inch circle punch, and I'm going to punch that out. And there we go. I've cut 2 strips of soft sky paper. This is in our Subtles DSP stack. And I've just cut across the length of the paper at 1 1/4 inches wide. And I've scored and folded on my scoreboard. I've scored at every inch, so I went 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, all the way along the piece of paper. And then I turned it over and I scored it at 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inches, 2 3/4 inches, and so on. So until I got a pleat like this. All right, and I have explained in more detail how to do this in one of my earlier videos, so I will post the link to that video underneath here. All right, so you can go and you can have a look at it. Now you do need to do some paper wrangling on this. All right, and what I am doing is I'm taking the fold that I made and I'm sort of pinching it, and I'm bringing it in at one end and letting it kind of fan out at the other. All right, I'm doing the same on this one. And what I'm trying to do is to get a tight curve like this. Alright, so just be firm with it. You know, it's Stampin' Up! DSP is very good quality. And I just keep pinch and turn and press, pinch and turn and press, pinch, turn, press. Just don't be afraid of it. Alright, it's only a bit of paper. It's not life and death. Pinch, turn, press until I've got a nice tight curve. Now I've actually got more than a semicircle there. Alright, now I've got a piece of scrap paper and I'm going to use my wet glue for this when I put it on. There it is. And I'm going to be quite generous with this. It's got quite good drying time. I'm just going to spread this all around the edge of my piece of scrap paper. And I'm going to start placing my rosette kind of where I want it. And I've got, okay, so I'm going to cut that piece away because I'm not going to need it. And I'm going to bring in my other piece. Just going to look in this direction. I'm just going to glue that on top. That, and that overlaps so that, let's stick that down so you can't see the join. You shouldn't be able to see the join anyway. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to fiddle with that a bit. My back of my rosette. And there's the bit that I embossed. Bit of wet glue. Get that centered. Press firmly. That is my rosette for the front of my box. Front of it's a bit plain and I want people to know which is the front of it, so I've got the rosette that I've made previously and I think a couple of glue dots will just do the job for me here. So let's have one there and one there. Make sure I've got the box the right way up and the rosette the right way up. Putting my hand underneath there so that I can just get in there and press, and there's my glue dot. Alright, I thought that was going to finish it, but when I put the globe inside it to try it out, the base of the box wasn't strong enough and I've got this nasty gapping effect going on at the top here which I really don't like. So to fix that, I've cut 2 more pieces of soft sky and they're 5 inches by 6 inches and I've creased and folded at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Alright, so I'm going to fold that over to make a further lip on my box, and I'm going to just angle off these corners. And that spot of the old tear and tape along the inside there. Okay, so that is now going to, I've already put one in, I've already done the one at the bottom, so this is now going to sit into the top. So I want the adhesive along these edges. Oops, bumped the tripod. And now that is a much more secure and a better looking box. So there it is, we got there in the end after a few twists and turns along the way, but it is a nice secure box now to hold my ornament, which now has a nice sturdy stand to put it on. And before I present it, I'm probably going to pack it with a bit of bubble wrap or something at the back, just to stop it all moving around. But thank you for staying with me. It has been a bit of a marathon project, this one, so I'm really grateful that you stayed with me to the end. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do give me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, visit my blog, visit my Facebook page. The details are underneath this video, and I will post the correct measurements that you need for everything that you need to make this box in my blog. So you know, if you're not sure about the measurements or anything, please check there, okay? There will be a link directly to this project. But that's it for now. Thank you very, very much for joining me, and I hope that I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.